National Engineering Conference 2024, proudly hosted by the Institution of Engineers, Sri Lanka. Being one of the major events of the calendar of IESL, today the National Engineering Conference is held under the apt theme of the role of engineers in economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Engineer Ranjit Dissanayake, President of IESL, to welcome and to make the opening remarks.
Good morning. On behalf of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, I would like to welcome you all to the National Engineering Conference 2024. A special welcome to the presidential candidates as well as their representatives, all past president, council members, all the members of the IESL. Since the president election has been announced, we decided to invite the all presidential candidates, representatives of their parties for this conference, so that we will be able to present our vision and the way forward as engineers on the economic development of this nation.
Theme of my presentation, I made it as engineers for the socio-economic development.
As you all know, we engineers carry scientific knowledge and the society has a lot of needs. Engineering is the mainly bridging the gap between this scientific knowledge and the social need to bring socio-economic development. It may come as infrastructure development, industries, agriculture sector, or the service sector. When these sectors are developed of a nation, we can see the ordinary man is happy. It means the benefit has gone to the ordinary people. Then we can see it as a socio-economic development. As a return of this development, we will have an economic growth, and that is why socio-economic development is more important than development only. When there is a socio-economic development, we see that the improvement of the education, infrastructure, health and security, and the better living condition where the people can live comfortably. Then the people are happy, and so we can see that the society will be greatly benefited from this development. That is called sustainable development. In order to achieve the sustainability, we need to satisfy three pillars: social happiness, environment conservation, as well as economic development. The economic development is the most important one. These three pillars must be strengthened, and without strengthening these three pillars, you can't have the sustainability. Currently, we are not satisfied about the environment condition. There are huge environment issues around us. When we go to the social status, out of 100, nearly 57 of the youth population are willing to migrate. Majority of them may not come back. So socially we have very poor situation too. I don't have to explain the economic crisis as we witnessed very recently. Currently we are trying to manage it, but what has happened is remain. We witnessed that sustainability of this nation is badly damaged in all three parts: economically, environmentally and socially. I can say that the economy is the most damaged for the time being. The question is, how can we correct it? Of course, we as engineers who are having the scientific knowledge and experience, we believe what we need is a leadership, where we have seen how other nations develop with an able leadership, such as Singapore, Malaysia. So, then if we have the leadership, we can have the sustainable development. Socio-economic development is measured in a different angle, but basically there are four important parameters, as you see. I should say, out of these four, engineers can directly contribute to the number 1 and number 4. What has happened? Right now, we don't own our economy. Then who owns our economy? I will explain it this way. We are a country that we enjoy more import than the export. If you go into the history, it says that we import than what we earn from the export. It has been artificially managed by the whoever in the power, but unfortunately, we could not manage it during the COVID period. Still believe it is not unfortunate. We are fortunately realize where we currently stand. Otherwise, the citizens, professional as well as the politician of this country will not understand the reality. You see our current capital. Of course, we wish to transform for a developed nation, as you see there. How do engineers can contribute socio-economic development of this nation? That is the aim of the National Engineering Conference of this year. Theoretically, we must reduce the import and increase the export. Thereby, we are trying for the balance the trade. We have to start to earn and live. Creating a surplus can cover the loan and other things. Here, renewable energy must play an important role by being a tropical country. Further, manufacturing industry, local material and the circular economy will be an important to get into the sustainability. Smart agriculture and the business process outsourcing will be the other source of foreign income. Innovation and entrepreneurships is the promising pathway to develop in Sri Lanka. This is what I always believe. Both basic research and applied research must go for the innovation. We have spent huge amount of money for the pre-education of this country. When I entered the Faculty of Engineering, University of Peradeniya in 1983, we had only 2 engineering faculties in this country. But today, people of this country has contributed to develop the more than 7 engineering faculties. But the ordinary man is suffering much more than the day that I entered the university. That means we have not done our part. We have ended the research at the level of innovation. The research commercialization is very much lack in this country. Then only we can bring the wealth and correct the theoretically the graph that I mentioned. This cycle must continuously rotate.
You cannot stop at one point. So that the government should have a policy toward
the research commercialization. And it should be continued. Because the product that you develop today will not be the product 5 years later, but is the ground reality. This I am taking as a case study. The titanium dioxide is used for the paint and other things. But of course, what we do, we sell the raw material and earn in some money by sending this raw material. Even that earning is not enough to import what we need. There is a huge potential to bring innovation and entrepreneurships. For almost all the material that we export, we do not add the value. There are so many similar cases like phosphate, graphite, which I am not going to talk in detail. The ground reality is we do not have a vision. We have been more passionate about selling tea, rubber, coconut and garments.
see the potential market in the world. Very small numbers. But where you see that the world trend is changing year by year. Electronic, IT and telecom and so forth. Right now, AI is playing the big role. We did not have a vision to develop the product or the service or what is coming next. Developed countries, they have a vision. They get ready for that term. But we could not capture the nano product market with the AI market too.
There are many failure attempts due to the mismanagement. We had Sansa Cement in Putlam. We could not manage it and we solved it. Foreign investment is needed. So very good done. It is not my complaint. We had the one. We solved it. How do they make profit out of it? Otherwise, they will not come for it.
How we are going to get back that money? We are sending our sisters and mothers to the Middle East and bringing. We are of course getting the money, but we get the economy only, lose the social part and the development part.
This is the Kantle sugar factory established in 1960. We could not manage it. And worst case is, even we could not find out the investor to run the operation. How much money do we spend to import the sugar? Of course, I don't say that we could have covered 100%, but at least some percentage could have covered.
Some of the failures like the Ceylon Ceramic Corporation, Paper Corporation and Tunil Allison staff. Why we fail? It is a management. Professional and political both have to responsible for this kind of failures. We always can talk, but we can't walk the talk. We do not have the consistency of policies. Policies are changing by government to minister to day by day. We don't want a high level policies, but we need some policies but should continue. Then people can plan it for that. Why we have failed as a nation? It is not because we don't have the idea of talented people. It is because we are unable to execute these ideas. We need a leadership that has a courage to make the change and has the ability to execute the ideas, empowered by the professionals and the technocrats. As a nation, we have a hard-working group of people, very talented people, and the very innovative people. Of course, we have the lagging in the entrepreneurships that can be corrected. People may be talking about the different sectors today. I'm just getting the few examples. So, one area, transport. People believe that the developed countries, not a place where the poor has cars. It is where the rich use the public transport. Engineers and the politics. Engineering is the backbone for the development of the nation. China has 15 high policy makers, 9 are engineers, including the president of the Chinese government. In one time in Singapore, 50% of the cabinet ministers are engineers. Not because of I'm engineer, I'm demanding for the nation to make the engineers into the position. Engineers are important in case of development. One city's development maybe 1% or 2% is enough. But you see how we fill our national list after the general election. All the ministers who fail to get into from the votes, they will get into the parliament. And how we fill our national level position, chairmans and so forth. Again, the same procedure will be adopted. Can we expect other than the closing down the factories and institute and so forth? Every economy activities has a role of engineering. Therefore, the engineers of the 21st century cannot afford to sit back. Aspirations. We have to make sure that replace the foreign consumption with the local. That will end up always with the low cost. We need the right vision and leadership. Increase the human capital. Government support is very, very important. I have been an entrepreneur in this country. I know how hard to establish something in this country. There is no shortage of entrepreneurs and innovations. We need the vibrant ecosystem. That is what leader should do. We must work together and expand the knowledge economy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the IESL, Engineer Professor Ranjit Disanayake, making the opening remarks.